Good morning, friends. Today is Friday, March 20th, and we are going to read The Ugly Vegetables by Grace Lynn. In the spring, I helped my mother start our garden. We used tall shovels to turn the grass upside down, and I saw pink worms wiggle around. It was hard work, and when we stopped to rest, we saw that the neighbors were starting their gardens too. "Hello, Irma," my mother called to Mrs. Crumpermine. Mrs. Crumpermine was digging too. She was using a small shovel, one that fit in her hand. "Mommy," I asked, "why are you using such big shovels?" Mrs. Crumpermine had a small one. "Because our garden needs more digging," she said. I helped my mother plant the seeds, and we dragged the hose to the garden. "Hi, Linda. Hi, Mickey," I called to the Fitzgeralds. They were sprinkling water on their garden with green watering cans. "Mommy," I asked, "why are we using a hose? Linda and Mickey use watering cans." "Because our garden needs more water," she said. Then my mother drew funny pictures on pieces of paper, and I stuck them into the garden. "Hello, Roseanne," my mother called across the street to Mrs. Angel Howe. "Mommy," I asked, "why are we sticking these papers in the gardens?" "Because Mrs. Angel Howe has seed packages in her garden." "Because our garden is going to grow Chinese vegetables," she told me. "These are the names of the vegetables in Chinese, so I can tell which plants are growing where." There she is, writing in on packages. One day, I saw our garden growing. Little green stems that looked like grass popped up out of the ground. "Our garden's growing," I yelled. "Our garden's growing." I rushed over to the neighbors' gardens to see if theirs had grown. Their plants looked like little leaves. "Mommy," I asked, "why do our plants look like grass? The neighbors' plants look different." "Because they are growing flowers," she said. "Why can't we grow flowers?" I asked. "These are better than flowers," she said. Soon, all the neighbors' gardens were blooming. Up and down the street grew a rainbow of flowers. The wind always smelled sweet, and butterflies and bees flew everywhere. Everyone's garden was beautiful, except for ours. Our garden was all dark and green and ugly. "Why didn't we grow flowers?" I asked again. "These are better than flowers," Mommy said again. I looked, but I saw only black, purple, and green vines, fuzzy wrinkled leaves, prickly stems, and a few little yellow flowers. "I don't think so," I said. "You wait and see," Mommy said. Before long, our vegetables grew. Some were big and lumpy, and some were thin and green and covered with bumps. Some were just plain icky yellow. They were ugly vegetables. Sometimes I would go over to the neighbors and look at their pretty gardens. They would show the poppies and the peonies and petunias to me, and I would feel sad that our garden wasn't as nice. One day, my mother and I picked the vegetables up from the garden. We filled a whole wheelbarrow full of them. We wheeled them to the kitchen, and my mother washed them, took a big knife, and started to chop them. Okay, and now I'm going to start a new video to finish the book.